Hey fantastic people, welcome back to F1ntastic Gaming. You can see we are back with another Last of First challenge. This is the 2021 Italian Grand Prix Last of First challenge, and we are at the Temple of Speed. I absolutely love this circuit. I mean, it's got such a nice flow through all the corners. I mean, it's just 11 corners and some really long straights, but I think it's still a really enjoyable circuit. It provides some pretty good overtaking and some pretty good racing, especially at turn 1. Turn 1 is a real hotspot for overtakes and for action. So yeah, it's a really nice circuit, so iconic, and we're gonna be racing in Carlos Sainz's Ferrari. So we're gonna be racing with Carlos Sainz because this is his first Italian Grand Prix as a Ferrari driver, so it's a very important race for him. And he finished in P2 at the last Italian Grand Prix, at the 2020 Italian Grand Prix. He finished in second place. He nearly got that race win, but he just couldn't get it. So let's see how we can do from last on the grid today.
As a pin. Latifi and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
So here we are sitting on the grid. I mean, when you're sitting on the grid on Monza, when you see the grid in Monza, and you can just see the atmosphere with the Tifosi, and I think this year the Tifosi are back, so that's really great to see. I mean, they weren't there last year, unfortunately, due to COVID, but this year there are going to be some Tifosi. We're changing the race strategy because there's no way we're going to last 7 laps on soft tires. I'm reducing my fuel load by a lot because Rich Mix does not exist anymore, so there's no point in overfueling the car as much as I normally do, because I won't be able to get any advantage from that. Unfortunately, our rear wing setup is stuck to 8 because for some reason when I did the qualifying to ensure that I start last, I put it on low wings and it didn't save for some reason. So yeah, that's so strange. I'm putting the brake bias a little bit towards the back because I really want to, you know, shorten that stopping distance so that when we're going at high speed we can slow down enough as we go. To 5 red lights for the 2021 Italian Grand Prix Last of First challenge. It's lights out and away we go. You can see we don't get the best start. We get a lot of wheel spin off the grid. That's not a good start with us. There's already a bit of a gap ahead to the rest of the field. As down to turn 1, I'm looking for some space. We have to be very careful on the brakes, and we let off the brakes a little bit. We're side by side with our teammate Charles Leclerc. Around the outside of turn 2 we go. He squeezes us and we lose our momentum, and now he's ahead of us. We're up into P14. Why are we behind our teammate? Why was our teammate so far down the order? He just got a horrible start, I guess, and that's just not a good thing for Ferrari if this happens in real life, that at the end of the start, like after a couple of corners, they're down P14, P15. I mean, that's not something you would want to see. And yeah, we're up in a P15 now, not P14. Our teammate is in P14, and now we're chasing him through the Curva Grande we go. You can see we're tucking into a slipstream. We're using overtake mode, but he's still pulling away. He must be using some overtake mode as we go down into the Della Roggia chicane. You can see we make that dive bomb and we get past our teammate. We're up in a P14 now. There's a small gap to Raikkonen ahead in P13, but hopefully we can close that up. Through the Lesmo corners we go. Lesmo 1, get a good exit out of there, use plenty of curb, as much curb as we need to, and through Lesmo 2 we don't exactly hit that apex, but we still get a good exit. Now we're using so much overtake mode. Probably shouldn't be using this much overtake mode on the first lap, but we're doing it because we have to capitalize on the field being so close together. We have to make as many overtakes we can. As we make a bit of contact with Raikkonen coming through the Ascari chicane, you can see that we actually made a bit of contact. We closed up so much in the braking zone that we had to avoid him. We didn't really catch up on the straight, but through Parabolica you can see we're running wide at the exit. It's a very tricky corner, and you try to hit the throttle, but you just get so much understeer through Parabolica. It's very difficult. But now down the main straight onto lap number 2 we go. You can see Leclerc is in our slipstream. We're in Raikkonen's slipstream. We go around the outside. You can see it's Leclerc swerving around behind us, and around the outside we go off Kimi Raikkonen through the turn 1 and 2 chicane. And yeah, we're up in a P13 now. That was a nice overtake around the outside. It was pretty smooth and we got the job done, although the job might not be done completely because Raikkonen is sucked up in our slipstream through the Curva Grande into the Della Roggia chicane. You can see he tries to go for a move, but we just nailed the braking. We have a great run through the chicane there, and these next 2 corners, the Lesmo corners, as always, are very crucial. You can see through Lesmo 1 we get a good one. We get the exit absolutely right. We hit the apex for Lesmo 2, and we actually gain a little bit of time. We gain a couple of tenths of a second there, but down the back straight we're not really getting a good run. So I'm hoping that through the Ascari chicane we can gain some time, because I don't want this to be the end. I want to gain some more positions. I want to at least get into the points. You know, it's a home Grand Prix, the Italian Grand Prix. We're racing in a Ferrari. We want to get those points. You can see through Parabolica we get a great run. Actually, we're using overtake mode in Sonoda slipstream, and yeah, we don't have DRS yet. We're gonna get DRS down the back straight later on this lap, but now we're focusing on getting past Sonoda. We use way too much overtake mode. We need to be more careful, but we use it all up. And down to turn 1 we make a massive dive bomb. We're past Ocon as well, side by side with him on the exit of the Rettifilo chicane. We get past Ocon and Sonoda. That was absolutely insane. A double overtake down into turn 1, and we did it in a Ferrari. That just felt awesome, and yeah, that was just an awesome move. And here's another angle. You can see what an insane dive bomb that was, and we didn't even make contact with him. Zero contact, completely clean move. We barely even locked up. I don't think we even locked up into that corner. That was just absolutely insane. That worked so perfectly. But now we have to chase after Fernando Alonso, and you can see that we actually catch up to him pretty quickly, because through the De La Roja chicane the cars ahead are actually kind of slow, and through the Lesmo corners now we're facing a bit of dirty air, but we're doing pretty well. We're sticking with Alonso, and now we're gonna have DRS through here, which is really gonna help us. I try to use overtake mode, but I don't want to use too much, but I still use too much, even though I didn't want to, as we are trying to go around the outside of Alonso, although he has DRS as well. Down to the Ascari chicane we get a much better braking zone, and we pass the Alpine, and that was an incredible move, an incredible battle that we had with Alonso. It was kind of short, but it was still a nice battle, and we're up into the points paying positions. We're up in a P10. Things are going really great for us right now, and yeah, we are just absolutely killing it. You can see Alonso is in our slipstream, and he's trying to get past us, but he won't get past us. Although down the main straight we are a sitting duck, because I don't think we have DRS. We do not have DRS down the main straight. We're out of 1 second, and you can see that Alonso just breezes past us. So does Ocon. Both the Alpines are just breezing past us. We're so slow. We have like a GP2 engine. And down into the first chicane we make a massive dive bomb. We may even make contact with Alonso, and we are past Alonso after that insane dive bomb. That was redemption for losing out at the final corner, for losing out down the main street. We just ran into that corner absolutely, and we just stole those positions back. That was absolutely insane. I mean, I literally felt like I had a Formula 2 engine in the back of my car, and then they were just breezing past us down into the De La Roja chicane. We just get a much better braking zone. We just get a much better run, although at the exit we had a bit of a bumpy exit, and down to Lesmo 1 we just secure that position. Although we get on the grass at the exit of the corner down to Lesmo 2, we get a better run through Lesmo 2, but in Lesmo 1 we had a horrible exit, as Jeff asked for a strategy change. I'm keeping it to the current strategy. I'm not going to pit on lap 8. That's just insane. No one's going to pit on lap 8. I mean, that's just way too late. You can see that we're catching up to Stroll, although we get a track limits warning. That was unintentional. That was just a small mistake that I made there. And you can see that the gap ahead is going up, but the gap behind is not going up. The gap behind is going down, as Alonso is trying to get back past us again down to Parabolica. You can see that we're trying to go side by side with him, but we understeer so much that we actually squeeze him out, and we went off the track ourselves. Just had so much understeer through there, and I think I have DRS. Do I have DRS now? Yes, I do. Down the main straight you can see that Alonso is still getting, that was Ocon actually, because he had DRS. We're side by side with Ocon now into the Rettifilo chicane, and as we hop over the curb we pretty much secure the position again, and the gap ahead is actually stable, and it's gone down now through the Lesmo corners. We got such a good run. Do we have DRS? Yes, we do. We are back in DRS range. When we might have thought that all hope was lost, we are back in DRS range. We're in Stroll's DRS range, and all we need to do now is get a good run through the Ascari chicane, which we do, and now we just need to slipstream him down into Parabolica, and we need to optimize that exit out of Parabolica to give us a chance down the main straight. You can see through Parabolica we go. We get a great run through here, great exit, although we still run wide. We still get some understeer. It was feeling good, but then we just got a wash of understeer. We do have DRS again. We are going to be pitting this lap. It is lap number 6. The pit window is open, and we will be coming into the pits as down into turn 1 we go, and this is where we catch up to him. You can see we're right on his tail now. In the hard braking zones, pretty much we're just making up so much ground because they're stuck in a train ahead ahead. Yellow flags behind. I wonder what's going on. We're flicking through the onboard cameras here. This is Fernando Alonso's. You can see that I think Ocon locked up. This is Charles Leclerc's onboard view, and oh, Tsunoda spins right in front of him and has blocked him off, and you can see that one of the Haas cars just flew by, and Tsunoda just really overcooked it. I mean, he totally got so much wheel spin. I think he just got too trigger happy. And the safety car is deployed. The safety car is deployed. That is exactly what we needed. The safety car is out. Wow, I mean, that was the one thing that would benefit us the most. I mean, look at that. You can see the cars are going. There's no blockage. Jeff told me over the radio that there's like a pileup or a blockage of cars, which there was, but now all the cars are running. But even though all the cars are running, the safety car is out for 2 laps, and we're just gonna benefit from this so much because number 1, we get a free pit stop, although everybody gets that, and number 2, the field is bunched up. We can make overtakes left, right, and center like we have been doing, but we have a much better chance because all the field will be bunched up as we pull into the pit lane. You can see that it is pretty crowded in here. Red Bull are double stacking, so are Aston Martin. I bet a few other teams will be double stacking as well as we do our stop. It's a 2.6 second stop, and we're out in P5. We're out of the pit box in P5. We're up in the P5 just by pulling into the pits. We didn't even do anything. We just came for a pit stop, and we're up in the P5. How did that happen? Oh my goodness, all the double stacking must have ruined people's races. That's why we're up in a P5. We gained like 4 positions from that. That is just insane. I mean, how did that happen? This is like a dream situation for us. I mean, Sainz got really good luck last year at the 2020 Italian Grand Prix in real life. In our last first challenge, we're racing at Sainz, so we're getting really good luck. Although this is not good luck because the safety car restart is always so annoyingly difficult. But now because we got to time it perfectly. You could see that we actually do manage to time it pretty well. We're using our ERS. Our ERS battery charge is pretty much full by now because of all the safety car stuff. Down into the turn 1 chicane, we're losing a bit of time to Gasly and Verstappen, but we make a huge dive bomb and we pass Verstappen into turn 1 to turn 2. We're up into P3. We're up into the podium positions just in one corner. We've gone from P5 to P3. We're up into the podium positions. We're racing in the Ferrari in a last of first challenge at the Italian Grand Prix. We're up into the podium positions. I cannot believe what is happening right here. My mind is absolutely blown right now. You can see we got a pretty good restart. We were losing out a little bit to Gasly because I think Gasly had some slipstream from Verstappen ahead, but we switched to the inside line. You can see Gasly tried to block us off a little bit, but then we just launched the attack on Max Verstappen, and that is just unbelievable. Oh my goodness. I mean, this race, honestly, I thought when the safety car came out, when we came out of the pits in P5, I honestly did not expect this race to get any better, but it did. I think we might have squeezed Verstappen out at turn 1 there, because you can see that Gasly is behind us now, and Gasly is trying to get back past us. He's just fighting for that podium. He won the race in real life at the 2020 Italian Grand Prix, and now at the 2021 Italian Grand Prix Last of First Challenge, he is trying to get on the podium, but we're going to hold that podium place. We're going to beat him. Sainz is going to beat Gasly today. He's gonna beat Gasly this year, and we're gonna hold that podium position. We're gonna hold on to it for our dear life, because I really want this podium. I think we worked so hard for it. Things just turned out to be so good for us today, and I want that to continue. You can see through turn 1 and 2 we get a good run, but at the exit we're losing time, and if you lose time at the exit of turn 2, you lose time all the way through the Curva Grande. You can see that Bottas is ahead of Gasly now. Bottas out of nowhere, he's ahead of Gasly and Verstappen now, and we do have a considerable gap to him, around 1.3 seconds, but he's in a Mercedes. He's in a car that can win the championship, and we're in a Ferrari, which means that we might not be able to retain this position. We'll see how it goes. You can see that Verstappen around the outside of the Ascari chicane, he takes the position back from Pierre Gasly. He's up in a P4 now, sorry, P5 now, because Bottas is occupying P4, and you can see again we lose time at the exit of turn 2. We're losing time all the way through the Curva Grande. We're still just above 1 second right now. Actually, we keep dipping below and above 1 second, the gap behind, and down to the Ascari chicane now. This is lap number 11. You can see that Bottas has really closed up to us. We didn't really get a good run through the Lesmo corners, and we got a horrible run through the Ascari chicane. You can see that down to Parabolica, Bottas is absolutely catching up to us as we go into hyperdrive. Somehow, I don't know, out of nowhere, I just said the name of Parabolica in the right way, in the Italian way. That was hilarious. But yeah, down the main straight straight, you can see that Bottas is catching up to us so fast, and I think Bottas and Verstappen, they're both dive bombing us down to turn 1 in the Rettifilo chicane. You can see that we get a horrible run through turn 2. We absolutely run wide. We have to be very careful because you have to slow down at the exit of turn 2. You can't get on the gravel. If you get on the gravel, you're finished. Everybody's gonna pass you. Your race is ruined. You could spin. So yeah, you don't want to do that. Down to the Variante della Roggia, you can see that Bottas is trying to get past us again, but we always nail that braking zone. I don't know how, but we always nail the della Roggia braking zone. So yeah, that's gone really well for us. Through Lesmo 1, we kind of get on the grass on the through the apex there. That's not what you want to do. Through Lesmo 2, we hit that apex nicely, get a great exit. I always enjoy Lesmo 2. That's one of my favorite corners on the circuit. Actually, I love all the corners, but Lesmo 2 and Parabolica, you know, those flowing corners, the ones where you can really chuck it in, those are really fun. But you can see that on the end of lap number 12, we're going to Parabolica, and you can see that Bottas has passed us. What is happening? Bottas just breezes past us as if we're like as if we have a GP2 engine. This is absolutely insane. We get a horrible run through Parabolica because we got hit by dirty air from Bottas's car. We're so far back. We're like 3.5 tenths back, around 5.5 tenths back. We're doing horrible. We have DRS as Verstappen tries to get P4 from us. We can't lose this. We can't lose this podium. Bottas locks up into turn 1. We lock up into turn 1, but we still make it back past Bottas. Onto the final lap of the race we go. Verstappen and Bottas are side by side now. Here's a quick replay of that overtake. We were not as far back as we were with some of the previous overtakes, but we made that move cleanly. We definitely locked up, and Verstappen and Bottas are now side by side with each other. I think for now Verstappen is ahead, although by a very, very fine margin. I think, yeah, now he is definitely ahead, and he's chasing after us. Verstappen wants that podium. He's really aggressive in this game, which I like. But down into the Della Roggia chicane, you can see we take that position back. By the way, Variante is Italian for chicane, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that's why we call it chicane in English, but Variante in Italian. But down into the Variante Ascari, you can see we're getting dive bombed by Verstappen down to the Ascari chicane. We take that position back because I knew that if we didn't take the position back down to the Ascari chicane, we were going to lose that position forever. We were going to lose that podium, and I was not ready to lose that podium. We re-overtook Verstappen. We secured our position, although for how long can we secure our position? Because down to back straight, if we don't stay ahead, if we get overtaken down to Parabolica, it is all over. And down to the Parabolica we go, and we are still ahead, and Lewis Hamilton wins the Italian Grand Prix. That's the first challenge, and we're not limping home, but you can see that the cars behind us are so close behind us as we take the podium at the 2021 Italian Grand Prix. That's the first challenge, racing as Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. That was the most fun, most exhilarating, most insane last first challenge I've ever done. And Forza Ferrari.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Well, that was an insane race. I mean, that was just unbelievable. It just feels good, you know, racing in a Ferrari at the 2021 Italian Grand Prix. That's the first challenge, and making it to third, making it on the podium. And Lando Norris made it on the podium as well. I mean, that's just unbelievable. I mean, it's just such a good day, such a good race. Lando Norris on the podium. We got on the podium. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is F1ntastic Gaming.